Hey there, car enthusiasts! You know I love cars, and I love seeing what you folks do to make your rides your own. But sometimes, you see these mods that might look cool in a magazine, but in the real world, they could end up costing you a fortune in repairs. We're talking about those modifications that seem like a good idea at the time, but could actually be hurting your beloved car. Stick around because today, we're diving into 10 car mods that could do more harm than good to your precious ride. Okay, so you want that aggressive, low-slung look, I get it. But slamming your car too close to the ground can lead to some serious headaches. We're talking about scraped bumpers, busted oil pans, and suspension parts that wear out faster than a toupee in a hurricane. Remember folks, there's a big difference between a sporty stance and driving a backhoe through a ditch. Now I'm not saying you can't lower your car, just be smart about it. Make sure you're using quality lowering springs or coilovers that are designed for your specific car, and for crying out loud, take it easy on those speed bumps. I'll admit it, a set of big shiny wheels can really make a car stand out, but going too big can throw off your speedometer, mess with your handling, and even put extra stress on your suspension. It's like putting cement shoes on a sprinter. It just ain't right. Plus, if you don't get the right tire size for those massive rims, you'll be riding on rubber bands. And trust me, nobody wants to feel every pebble on the road. Look, I'm all for a little extra horsepower, but bolting on a cold air intake without getting your car properly tuned is like trying to run a marathon after eating a whole cheesecake. It might sound good at first, but it's not going to end well. Modern cars especially have these fancy computer systems that control everything. You mess with the air intake, you gotta tell the computer what's going on, or you could end up with an engine that runs rougher than a cobblestone road. I love the rumble of a good exhaust note as much as the next guy, but some aftermarket exhaust systems are just plain obnoxious, and worse, if they're not designed and installed correctly, they can create back pressure that chokes your engine's performance. It's like trying to exhale through a straw. You're not going to get very far. Make sure you choose an exhaust system from a reputable brand that's designed for your car's make and model. Now this one really grinds my gears. Removing your catalytic converter might seem like a way to get more horsepower, but it's also a one-way ticket to Polluterville. Plus, in most places, it's illegal as all get out. Your car needs that catalytic converter to clean up its emissions. Without it, you're just spewing harmful pollutants into the air we breathe. So please folks, don't be that guy. Leave the catalytic converter alone. Okay, now we're getting into the big leagues. Turbochargers and superchargers can definitely give your car a serious kick in the pants. But bolting one on without upgrading your fuel system, cooling system, and engine internals is like asking a bicycle to tow a trailer. Something's gonna break. Forced induction puts a lot of stress on your engine. If you're gonna do it right. Make sure you have the supporting mods to handle all that extra power. ECU tuning can be a great way to squeeze some extra performance out of your car. But here's the thing, it's not something you want to mess around with unless you know what you're doing. A bad tune can turn your engine into a ticking time bomb, potentially leading to detonation, overheating, and a whole host of other problems. If you're going to tune your car, go to a reputable tuner who knows your car inside and out. Your car's suspension is what keeps your tires glued to the road and your fillings from getting rattled out. So why would you trust it to cheap, poorly made parts? Just like with everything else, you get what you pay for when it comes to suspension components. Cheap parts might save you a few bucks up front, but they'll cost you in the long run with a rough ride, poor handling, and premature wear. Look, I get it. We all love a good bargain. But when it comes to performance parts, going with the cheapest option is often a recipe for disaster. Cheap parts are often made from inferior materials, they might not fit properly, and they certainly won't perform as well as their higher quality counterparts. Remember folks, you're putting these parts on your pride and joy. Don't skimp on quality. In short, it's all about choosing quality parts and making sure they're compatible with your vehicle. Don't just slap on any old part you find online or at a swap meet. Do your research. Make sure the parts you choose are designed for your car, and that they're coming from reputable brands. And when in doubt, always go with reputable brands and have modifications installed by professionals. A good mechanic can help you choose the right parts for your car and make sure they're installed correctly. Remember folks, a little bit of knowledge goes a long way when it comes to modifying your car. Have you been thinking about modifying your car? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome car tips.